Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sea.
Hi, welcome to be my guest. This is Jan Lewis, your host, and today we have, back by popular demand, Lisa Shea. And Lisa Shea is from Sutton. She's an author. She's going to have 2 new books to show us. Welcome back, Lisa.
Great, thank you.
And we have the 2 new ones now that are Aspie Girl, an Aspie Girl in Massachusetts,
Yeah.
and Elm Espionage. Let's see if I can get these up high enough here. All right. Which one did you write first?
Probably the Aspie Girl one.
Aspie Girl one.
Yeah.
Now, Aspie means Asperger's.
Yes.
Okay. Where'd you get the idea for that?
Well, I have a number of friends who have Asperger's, and they're avid readers,
Yeah.
and they complain that they don't have enough people in the stories that represent the way they look at the world. So I thought
hear
I
you.
should write a mystery series featuring a heroine with Asperger's.
And these are usually always local. Your books are
Yes.
great. The Sutton area.
Mhm.
How far do you go, like in our area?
Well, the Aspie series is set on a woman who enjoys diners, and they're all the Worcester lunch car diners, which were built right in Worcester, and there aren't that many left in the world, and we're fortunate to have a number of them in Massachusetts. So everyone takes place in a different Worcester lunch car diner in Massachusetts.
Diner Short Story Mysteries, an Aspie Girl in Massachusetts. Volumes 1 to 10. This was volume...
Well, it has all 10 in it. Those
Oh,
are
okay.
short stories, so each one is a short
Yeah.
story set in, like, the Parkway in Worcester or Peg's Diner in Whitensville.
This
so,
looks like the one in Millbury to
nope,
me.
that's the one in Worcester.
Is that Miss Worcester Diner?
No, Miss
No.
Worcester is blue. That's the,
Oh.
it's either the Broadway or the Boulevard. I always get the name confused.
Is
on
that one? Are they still up?
Wait, we could find out, because we could
I
just skip
think
the
that
pages.
I know Miss Worcester is still there. It's a crummy,
yeah, Miss
crummy
Worcester-
neighborhood, but you
Miss
know,
Worcester is like book 3 in this.
I know we've eaten at Miss Worcester Diner. I
That's the-
can't say it quickly enough.
Yeah.
Miss Worcester Diner.
Yeah, this is at the Boulevard. And so that is the Boulevard on the
That's the
cover.
Boulevard, and
Yeah.
and that's located on what street?
That's on Shrewsbury Street, and
That's-
it's right across the street from the Parkway. And
Yeah.
then Miss Worcester is down, like you said, in
I hope you
different
don't lose
section of
these
town.
because it's such a part of history.
Yeah.
Have you eaten there?
Oh yeah, no, I went to each one and visited it and ate there so that I could write up the interior and the scenes.
You
And
got the
everything.
ambiance just by being
Yeah.
there. And then Elm Espionage. Elm. This looks like a lot like the Pavilion in Grafton Common, but also
Yeah.
there's one up in Sutton, isn't there?
Yes, so this is the Sutton Gazebo.
That's the Sutton one. There's a big church.
Yep, and that's Polly's Antiques right behind it.
You know, that didn't, I don't know, maybe the other people moved. I know one time there was a woman in there who sold, it's the pyramid product, I don't know what it is, but it was a selling thing.
Okay.
Now, I noticed the other day, it was an antique place,
Well, it's an art gallery now.
art gallery.
Yes.
For all kinds of art, photography, and
Well, there's like 4 or 5 different artists that are in there. So there's a photographer and a watercolorist and so on. So
Do they
a
welcome
couple of specific ones.
more people, or they just keep it very...
It's pretty full with what they have, but I
Yeah.
think they have special events where someone can come in for a Saturday and showcase their things.
Well, now, Lisa, she's been on the show before, but for people who don't remember or haven't seen our past, Lisa, you live in Sutton. Were you originally from our area?
No, grew up in a bunch of different places in Connecticut and Rhode Island, and then settled in Sutton about 22 years ago.
Connecticut, what towns? Because I was in there.
Glastonbury, West Hartford, and Willimantic.
Okay, I was further down than you in Stamford, New Canaan,
Mhm.
Norwalk. So you were on the shore, right?
No, that's up
Right.
in the middle. So Glastonbury and West Hartford are right next to Hartford, and Willimantic is where Yukon is. So up in the
I
north.
remember my parents bringing me to Yale New Haven Hospital Medical.
Yep,
Okay, I
that's on
remember.
the shore.
Right, and we have guests who come on from over the border. In fact, I have a friend over in Putnam.
Mm-hmm.
There's Thompson.
Yeah.
It's not that far.
No,
It's not that far a hike. Now, how many books in all do you think you've written so far?
over 300. But that counts short stories too. So probably 20 full-length novels, and then another 50 novellas, which are the middle-length ones, and then a bunch of short stories.
I loved the one about the forest ranger in Sutton. I think he
Yeah.
had a kind of romance going with.
Yep.
And
Yep,
someone was
that's
killed.
in the series.
Yeah, he was killed.
Mhm.
There was a guy who was killed. So we thought maybe it was a hunter.
Yep.
And that I'm not going to go any further. That's a mystery. But boy, that had me going.
Oh, good.
That really did. They're not what I would call thrillers, but they're definitely mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely. Have you always written mysteries?
No, I started with medieval romance. So I've got 14 full-length medieval romances written. And those are gentle Robin Hood and Maid Marian out saving the world kinds of
And
things.
then what changed your...
Well, I still write those.
You're still writing them?
Yep.
How many do you write a month?
It depends on the length of it.
Yeah.
You know, like the longer full-length ones can take me a couple months, and the short stories, like with the Black Cat series that you read before,
Yes.
I wrote those book a day. So
You
October.
wrote a book a day?
Well, but they're short stories.
Yeah,
So
but still.
So the first one was October 1st, the second one was October 2nd, all the way through October 31st. So I wrote them a book a day till the end.
Wow. You really write a lot. Do you have any time at home?
Sure.
Just to kind of chill?
Yeah,
You
I do
do.
a lot of photography.
You do
I-
what kind? Nature? Or?
I'm with the Blackstone Valley Art Association, so we do all sorts of different events around here. We'll do macro workshops or long exposure workshops. So it depends on what we're working on.
Is that the one that has exhibits down in Uxbridge in the
Yep.
center of town?
Yep.
We've been there.
Oh.
It was really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Do some of them, are some of the people there from, not Crossroads?
Alternatives.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So that facility both hosts alternatives clients during the day when they're doing their job activities, and then in the evening it turns into the workshop activities for us.
Then it's the work for you.
Yeah.
How long have you been with them?
About a year. I think
Yeah.
we've been working with them. We've worked with them on and off. They have like a tapestry show in the fall and other things that we work with them on, but this is a new experience for us to actually be running the gallery and to be able to do the workshops and such.
Well,
in
now
it.
you're an author, and what do you do with the art group?
Well, like that cover there is my boyfriend Bob C's photo. So
Yes.
a lot of the covers, the other cover's my photo. So I do my own covers with a lot of the artwork.
That is fantastic. We were just talking with our first guest. I always recommend to, brand new authors, this type of thing. Once we get through the manuscript, go through Create Space, you get to do your own cover.
Mm-hmm.
The publishers, they won't let you, right?
Yeah.
That makes me a little nervous.
Oh yeah.
But I love the colors that people do on their cell. I mean, your own cover, you know your book,
Mhm.
you know what's going to look good.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Frank Tropia, and he's going to be on the show. The Diamond Princess, or what was it now?
The Princess Who Weeps Diamonds.
The Princess Who Weeps Diamonds.
Mhm.
And I don't know who drew that. I'll have to. Do you know who drew that picture in the front? Picture, and she's got a diamond coming right down like this. So
Mhm.
Frank will be on our show. He's from the Boston area,
Yeah.
so he'll be coming in. So now you are also a member of the Sutton Writers Group
Yep, I run that.
and the Boston Writers Group.
Yep.
So in all this time that you don't have with writing, how do you get to your two groups?
Well, they're only once a month, and the rest of it's by email. So a lot of it is email support. I'll write them and explain what I'm doing and give them
Yeah.
ideas for marketing or publishing or other things,
Yeah.
and then they'll write back with questions. So.
Well, now, do you have where would you have time? Do you have another job regularly on top, or this is it?
I run websites is my actual job for a living, so I've got 25 different websites. So I've got one on wine, one on romance. I've got a large one called Bella Online, which used to be the second largest women's site in the world, but because it's just me running it, now that all the corporations have come into the internet world, it's a lot harder to maintain that kind of traffic on it. But they're a lot of fun.
25?
25 websites. But some of them are small websites. I have one on meditation and those one on whole good photography, which is an old plastic camera. So those are pretty small
How
sites.
long have you been doing photography?
Oh, it's been since I was little. I started with little plastic film cameras. Now I suppose I'm still shooting little plastic
And
film
you do
cameras.
you set it up on the tripod, or you just do the?
It depends on
Yeah.
what I'm taking a picture of. Sometimes you need the tripod for stability, and sometimes you just point and shoot. And
Well, yeah.
see
I
what
mean, I think my
happens.
family gets a kick out of it. My husband's a real pro. He's got the real deal. But
Mhm.
I go over to Walmart and get one of those. The indoor-outdoor, and those come out good. They're pretty. I would never know because I'm not a pro at it, but I wouldn't know if it's the same picture, if it was one professionally done versus the one that I just quickly, the little disposable gizmo.
Yeah.
Those have gone up in price.
Yeah.
It used to be $3.99. I'm shocked. It's like $10 now. I'm like, whoa, for that?
Yeah.
Is that because of the competition? Do you think?
I imagine there's a lot of people trying to get into that market, and it's also just fun. So.
Yeah. So now, what's the next book coming up in this series?
Well, the next one in the Sutton series will be fir, because that's the whole tree theme going on
Fir.
there. So aspen, birch, cedar.
FIR. It'll be
Yeah.
called Fir.
Well, fir fallacies.
Fir fallacies.
So I'll have trouble when I get to the layers like Q, trying to think of a Q tree, but
It'll be a mystery, continuing the mysteries.
yeah,
Now, what number would that be? That book?
fir is 6.
That'll be 6.
Yeah.
Knowing you're probably working on 7.
No, 7 I'll start in a couple months. Every book in that series is going to be set in a different month, so that by the time people get through the first 12 books, they'll have seen Sutton and all of the different seasons.
Yeah.
To
I
see
know
what
your
it's like.
Purgatory Chasm.
Mhm.
You've probably been there many times, probably
Yeah.
taking pictures.
Yeah.
I can picture the cover of one of your books. Is it the one that Is there someone out on the lake, and
Yep.
it was the lake over there?
Yep, that was book 1. That was Aspen Allegations. That's my boyfriend on the Singletary Lake, and I'm behind
Singletary.
him. We're both in kayaks. So,
So is he a photographer? He's a photographer also?
yes, yes.
Wow, that's really talent. Let me tell you. That's now, Lisa. How can people get? Oops, how could they get a hold of your books?
Well, they're on Amazon, and they're at the local Enchanted Passages, which is the bookstore in Sutton.
Yes, we had them on the show.
Oh, great.
So Enchanted Passages.
Yep.
And what's the site? What's your website?
LisaShea.com.
LISA Shea SHEA.com.
Yes.
All right. Enchanted Passages.
Yes.
Now I had thought they were just for children.
They have a local authors area as well, so they're
Yeah.
primarily for children, but they do offer a few local adult
I
content.
love it. That's good to know because I had sent a children's author over there,
Mhm.
and they're still pretty new. Has it been a year yet?
About a year.
About a year. Yeah, they were on the show, and I love the idea of having one this close by.
Mm-hmm.
We need this. I think we need more bookstores.
Yeah.
Have you spoken at Tatnock? You've been over there.
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah. I've spoken at
In the big
Tatnak's.
room?
Yep. Spoken
you've
at
been
Barnes and Noble.
In on Lincoln Street or Millbury?
Both of them.
You've been at both.
Yeah.
I'll bet you've been at Book Lovers Gourmet.
Yep.
What's your favorite place to speak at?
Oh, Book Lovers Gourmet is cute because they've got the cafe and everything there, and also we do art shows there. We have a sunflower show that we did last year that we're going to do again this year during August because they have that beautiful garden out front with all the sunflowers.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people say they had never heard of the Book Lovers Gourmet. And Deborah Horan and I, she sends me to all authors. We go back and forth. I'll send an author up to her,
Mhm.
and I'll tell people, yes, it's one of the best kept secrets in Webster,
Mhm.
right there on Route 16.
Yeah.
And it says Book Lovers Gourmet. I remember when the first time I went in, I was like shocked that it had so many books. It looked so
Yeah.
small.
Right.
And I always wondered, I haven't been there when an author spoke, but where did they put the author?
In the front cafe area.
Okay, so there is a space there. That's
Yep.
where they are.
Yep.
So there's cafe there,
Mhm.
as long as the books. Over in Enchanted, I wondered if the Enchanted Passages in Sutton, if they're going to have a little cafe, do you think?
I think they're thinking about it. They have that back room that they use for parties.
Oh, I
So.
didn't know that.
Yep.
That is really good. There's a
Yep,
mother and
birthday party.
daughter, right, that
Yes, yes.
founded it. Yeah, it was great. We finally got them on because our schedules and theirs weren't jiving.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that local authors are on there too. And also downstairs in our dedicated authors wall in the library here in Upton, you can borrow Elm Espionage
Mhm.
and an Aspie Girl in Massachusetts. Asperger's. Do you have a lot of friends who have that, or have they just
I
been?
do.
They do.
Yeah.
It's very akin to autism,
Yes, yes, it's part of that spectrum.
but they're brilliant.
Well, they can be. There's all sorts of different combinations of people, but many of them do end up being quite smart.
Yeah, I think the soup du jour when my son was growing up, not that long ago, was ADHD.
Mhm.
But as he grew older, well, we think it's this,
Mhm.
or we think it's that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, how many medications have we tried?
Right.
Do your friends, have they been through that medication system too? Oh, it's
It
awful.
depends. A lot of people were just never diagnosed at all, so they always just thought they were quirky or odd. And then finally, at some point when they're in their 40s or 50s, they finally got a diagnosis, and they said, "Oh, well, that's what it is."
Well, they're wonderful at zeroing in on what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
My son would just freak. He would be, something would be all Beanie Babies, or something would be all Egypt. Oh, he would gaga over Egypt. When he was very little, medical, all things medical.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else. He would really zero in, and sloths. Sloths. I mean,
Very cute.
he's 25 now, and for Christmas, I was over at one of the stores. I've never seen this. They had some real, it was about this big stuffed sloths.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought, well, he's probably too old. I went back. One left. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I got it, and when I stuffed it in this great big box,
Mm-hmm.
and when he opened it for Christmas, he never dreamed. I said, "Where'd you put that sloth?" I think he has a big turtle tank.
Okay.
I think it's on the side of the turtle tank.
Okay.
But you can relate, when he got interested in something, he could have cared less about most subjects in school unless it was science, hated math.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate. Were you good at math?
Yeah, I enjoyed math.
You enjoyed math. Oh my God.
Well, it's-
I made it through high school with it, and I got into college, but on the seat of my tail, really getting in there, because it was a close call. But by the time they hit algebra, I think it was algebra and trig. By the time they hit the trig, I'm like, and our teacher, sophomore year in school was the kind of guy that didn't want to explain it twice.
Mm-hmm.
You got it the first time, or you were a dunce.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so I was going downhill grade-wise,
Mhm.
and I think in that school they said, you're going to have to at least have a C, at least, or a D,
Mhm.
to continue with your class.
Yeah.
That's a pride thing. Like, I'm not going to leave my class.
Mhm.
So my parents said, we'll get you a tutor.
Mm-hmm.
She was a senior, and we got along like that.
Oh, great.
She was slow, she took her time, she'd come to the house. I passed. We'll leave it at that. I passed, I made it through and slid forward. But when I went to college, the person who accepts you, he said, you're not going to do well in college math.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sure I will. He was right. Didn't make it the first year, had to go to summer school, and then had to try again.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they're just more artsy or communicators, people type of, and then the different types of learning.
Yeah.
What do you have? Kinesthetic, which is and then the visual, audio. What's the other one? I can't think of it, but it's like when you write a book, can you picture it ahead of time in your mind what's going to
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah.
You picture it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I read a book, yours and anyone else's, excuse me, what my mind automatically, it's like a movie. And I'm picturing the people, I've already what they look like. And when I get to a certain place and maybe the author has changed, not you, but another author has maybe changed the color of the hair, I'm like, what? I didn't picture him like that.
Right.
And I gotta go, I gotta retread. But your books are so smooth reading, you don't have to go back and say, who was that now?
Well, I try to be careful about describing people up front so they don't have that kind of experience where they expect
Yeah.
someone to be blonde, blue-eyed, and then they get to like the third chapter and suddenly it's completely different and it ruins their immersion in the story. So
Exactly, you follow it right along.
Mhm.
And the mysteries just come to you. They just come.
yeah, well, and especially like with both of those, I go to the place first and absorb the scene. So then it usually something speaks to me about that location. I don't really have to invent it
No.
because I'm already sitting in Peg's Diner or wherever it is that I am.
What's your favorite location for the mysteries?
Well, I guess Sutton because I
Yeah.
know it so well.
Yeah.
But I like doing the diner ones because it was fun to go tracking down all the different diners. Like the Millbury one you were talking about
Yeah.
isn't there anymore. So that
I
one got
know.
shut down.
I was amazed when they got rid of it because it's such a plum location.
Yeah.
I ate there one time. It wasn't bad at all.
Mhm.
She has got pictures in here of the different diners.
Mhm.
Going diner for the third time in Aspie Girl in Massachusetts. That was number 3.
Yep.
Um,
Yep, so on the Kindle, each of them is its own little separate story,
Yeah.
but then for paperback, those would be too skinny, so I did
Yeah.
all 10 together.
Diner Deeds. Done dirt cheap. An Aspie Girl in Massachusetts. Do you have a favorite diner?
They're all fun, I suppose. No, I like them all.
You like them all. I love breakfast in a diner. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they look like, some of the pictures they look so similar. Oh, here's one. Where was this one now? That was,
Isn't that Peg's? Yeah, I think that's
that's
Peg's
Peg's
in
in Oxford?
Whitensville. It's right next to where
Oh.
the church and such are.
Where have I been? I lived in
the library?
Whitesville.
Well, it's tucked
It's so
in the
tucked.
long way. Yeah, so you can barely see it.
Yep, Church Street. You're sure this diner is on Church Street?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's tucked right in there. You can go
Yeah.
right by and not see it.
Yeah.
What's the one in Oxford? Oxford Diner. They have a little pig as their motto, the pig car.
I'm not sure. I don't know that would be a Worcester lunch car diner, and I was really focusing on the ones that were built right here in Worcester for
Yeah.
this series.
Definitely. Now there was one. Is there still one over? Is there one in Mendon?
I don't remember. Is
Mm.
Mendon where the recovered one was?
Mendon is where the Southwick Zoo is, and also where
Yeah,
there's
yes, so
a
that's-
theater there.
Well, it's the big car dealership there.
Yeah, but yes.
Oh, right, and renamed it Miss Mendon. So,
Yeah, the Miss Mendon Diner.
Yeah, so
They're
they
still there?
completely, they brought it in and rebuilt it, so it's completely rebuilt and revamped.
And it's there.
Yes.
Is
Yep,
it?
so it's in with the car dealership.
Oh, that's what happened then. They
Yes.
joined forces.
Yes. So the car dealership people bought the diner, restored it, and then put it in right next to their car dealership.
For people out there who don't know, what is an Aspie Girl? Tell us a little bit more about what that's like. Asperger's syndrome.
Well, Asperger's syndrome is a part of the autism scale, so a lot of the people with Asperger's have trouble relating to other people, reading facial expressions, getting a sense of what the emotions are. And like you said before, a lot of them can be very focused on a
Mm.
particular topic and really enjoy that topic.
Right.
And many of them are brighter than average, but there's a whole scale. Every person is different, so.
And then I think one of the symptoms is also not being able to make eye contact.
Mhm.
I noticed with my little grandson, he's a little guy, but I noticed it. He was like a year old.
Mhm.
I was on to some of the symptoms, and I just noticed that I would call his name. I know he heard me,
Mhm.
but he didn't acknowledge me.
Mhm.
So I mentioned it to my son and the mother of his children, and I said, I said, I've noticed this with him,
Mhm.
and I left it to them to get it. Luckily, she took the bull by the horns.
Mhm.
At a very young age, they had a special assistant come to their home,
Mhm.
work with him. He's already in preschool and he's doing fine.
Oh, great.
But they caught it early.
Right.
He will definitely look at you. He'll respond.
Mhm.
He's thinking. I can tell he's in his own world very often because he's deep. He seems to be deep thinking.
Mhm.
Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, yeah.
A deep thinking type. Did you have this in your family at all? Any of the children with autism or
Yeah,
Asperger's?
we got some relatives.
Yeah, he's the first
Mhm.
but luckily, I think because I was raising a son and a child and I had looked at different things different children would have, and I said, oh, this is interesting. And by the time this little guy came along, I said, he's definitely not only in his own world, he is not even looking at us.
Mhm.
He's not acknowledging me. I said, that's not right.
Right.
Because, yeah, so that was one. Now, the next one coming up is coming in what month now? The next one up, the
For
series?
the diners?
Yeah.
It depends when I get out to the next diner. They're getting further and further away because
Yeah.
I got all the local ones quickly, so it's probably going to wait until the spring or summer when the
Spring,
weather's better.
And now how about another espionage type?
The fur one
Yeah.
took place last fall, so I'm still finalizing the book, so it will be released as soon as I finish finalizing it.
When do you think? I was going to make a note, get you back on.
Say June.
Maybe June? Okay, we'll do that.
Hopefully before then.
Now, I found out that Lisa, I'm so proud of her, is a member of the Mensa Society.
Yeah.
What do you have to have? What's the IQ level you have to get in there?
It's the top 2%.
Which means, my son once sent me something about his 160, 190, what is it now?
I don't remember what the IQ is. They keep changing it because of the way the test scores keep changing.
They keep
So-
raising the bar or lowering it.
Well, it depends. Like
Yeah.
they used to take SATs and now they don't take SATs anymore because the way SATs have changed. So
They don't?
no.
What are they doing? How do they test the kids?
There's a number of different tests like the military and such use. So you take one of those kinds of tests and then it's different scores depending on which
Oh,
test
for the
you take.
Mensa, okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so for a second I thought you meant to get into college. I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
Boy, I remember taking that. Do you remember taking that?
The SATs, yes. Well, but many colleges aren't using SATs anymore
No.
either. That they're just using, I guess, the way they write your application and your history of the kind of volunteering work that you do and other kinds of things.
That was a 3-hour thing, wasn't it?
It was
I remember
pretty long.
they told us you're not going to have a break.
Mhm.
I got so fed up with that SAT, and I made it. I got to college, but I said, when in doubt, circle 3. Number 3, just pick one. I got drained.
Yeah.
It was just too much. There should have been a little break.
Mhm.
I don't know why there wasn't. I don't know why they don't.
Well, I imagine they figure that if you took some parts of the test and then went and took a break, you could look up some answers and then go back and change your scores on that part of the test. So.
Never occurred to me. I would think more of somebody looking at somebody's arm,
Mhm.
it's right there. But how would you know how would you know those? But so in the Mensa Society, they change it as to the ways to get in.
Mhm.
Are there a lot of people in there or not?
I think there's 50,000 in the U.S.
In the U.S.
Right.
And here in Massachusetts, and you have a group here
I think we have 1,000.
in Boston, right?
Right.
That's pretty neat. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, my son is pretty sure that he would fit, and we'll see.
Mhm.
He would contact the Mensa Society.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just-
they've got websites.
Contact them,
Mhm.
and then ask them for their the prerequisites that he would need.
Yep.
To-
Yep.
to-
They
to-
run tests, so you could go and attend one of the tests.
Is it hard? Is it really super hard?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. You took the SAT one, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college, Lisa?
I started out at Worcester Polytech, dropped out, and then I finished at Northeastern.
WPI.
Yep.
They have, I think I read about a new, she's an engineer in the Worcester Business Journal. She's the first, I think, woman head of engineering at WPI, or was, and has moved. She has her own company. Oh, I wish I could remember her name. She's going to hopefully be on the show. What a role model for the girls.
Yeah.
There a lot of girls say, oh, WPI, it's mostly the guys, and then they're engineers. I'm like, not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. So, what year did you leave WPI?
87.
In '87, and then you went over. What made you go over to Northeastern?
I did that a couple years ago just because I wanted to finish up my degree. So I
What's your
finally-
degree in?
Leadership.
Leadership.
Yep. So
I
it's a
didn't know
lot
they
of,
gave those.
it's a lot of working with people from different cultures and different backgrounds with different challenges to get everyone involved.
I love that. I didn't know they had a program that does just leadership. Had they had that when I was growing up or whatever in college, I probably would have gravitated to that because that feels natural to me. And the art felt natural also. Northeastern and WPI are fantastic schools. Did you live up here at WPI?
Yeah.
You did.
Mhm.
Do you recommend kids live on campus or commute? What do you think?
Oh yeah, live on campus.
That's what I did too. Unfortunately, though, I chose Plymouth State, New Hampshire. Beautiful campus. That's what I fell in love with. But it's a party school.
Mhm.
Everyone knows it goes up there. And wonderful teachers. Everything's great. But if you weren't into partying and toga parties,
Mhm.
you felt left out. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't belong here. But now, Lisa, we've got about just a couple more minutes left. So, again, an Aspie girl in Massachusetts, diner short story mysteries. You're going to see the pictures of the local diners in here. And you actually go there and you take the pictures, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You take those pictures, and then you incorporate them into your book.
Yeah.
And your husband's also a photographer.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
That is really cool. Any other photographers in your family?
Oh, I guess my mom and my father were both photographers.
Oh, well, that you came well by it. Any
Yeah.
brothers and sisters?
I do, but none of them are photographers.
They're not into that.
No.
Funny how I saw the one in Whitensville.
Mhm.
I lived there for years. I didn't even recognize it. Because I'm not used to looking at it this way.
Right,
I'm
well-
used to passing this little place on the road.
Yep.
And that's still up and running
Yes, it
and
is.
going well. Lisa, one last time. Besides coming downstairs to our library, how can they get Elm Espionage and an Aspie Girl in Massachusetts?
Well, they're on Amazon.com. They're on LisaShea.com. It's LISASHEA.com. And Enchanted Passages.
I love the way you do the covers. Don't let anybody else take you away and do those covers.
Yeah.
This is great. This
Thank
is
you.
really good. I mean, you can't miss it. The Diner's short stories. And it's something to get through where you can see what she's talking about. You can picture what the girl's doing. Thank you, Lisa. Now, you've got that other one coming out in April, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll get her back on again. Thanks for being here.
Right. Thank you.
And we'll see you next time and be my guest.